What if I told you the snack in your pantry right now, the one in the yellow bag, was invented by a man who bought a failing corn chip business out of a basement in San Antonio for $100? A Mexican street vendor cooking chili on a sidewalk at midnight. A cook who accidentally created a taco that floats, and a city that handed the world Tex-Mex and never got the credit. 10 foods, 1 city. Let's decode this. Food 1 Fritos. It's 1932. Charles Elmer Doolin is a young confectionery owner in San Antonio running a struggling ice cream business. One afternoon, he walks into a gas station and buys a small bag of corn chips from a Mexican man for 5 cents. He can't stop eating them. He tracks down the man, buys his recipe, his equipment, and his 19 accounts, all of it for $100. Borrows the money from his mother. He sets up production in his mother's kitchen on West Commerce Street. The fryer runs on the stove. Output: 10 pounds of chips a day. He calls them Fritos. Today, Frito-Lay generates over $16 billion in annual revenue. It started with a 5-cent bag at a San Antonio gas station. Food 2 Chili con carne. Long before Tex-Mex was a restaurant menu, it was a woman standing behind a pot on the sidewalk at night. The chili queens of San Antonio were vendors, mostly Mexican and Mexican-American women, who set up open-air stalls in Military Plaza and later Alamo Plaza from the 1880s onward. They cooked chili con carne over open fires, ladled it into bowls, and fed the city for pennies a serving. The combination, dried beef, chili peppers, cumin, garlic, slow-cooked until the broth thickened to something halfway between a stew and a sauce, became San Antonio's signature dish. The Chili Queens ran those plazas for 50 years, until the city shut them down in 1943 on sanitation grounds. The chili stayed. The Queens deserved better. Food 3 Puffy Tacos. The Puffy Taco was not planned. It was a mistake that became an institution. Ray Lopez Sr., founder of Ray's Drive-In on Southwest 24th Street in San Antonio, was frying mesa tortillas in the 1950s when he left one in the oil a moment too long. It puffed. The outside went crisp. The inside stayed soft and doughy, a pocket of air trapped inside a golden shell. He filled it anyway. Ground beef, lettuce, tomato, cheese. His customers loved it. Today, Henry's Puffy Tacos, run by Ray's son Henry, has been serving the same accidental creation since 1978. San Antonio still calls it their own. Nobody else can make that claim. Food 4 Breakfast Tacos. Before the breakfast burrito existed, before anyone in Austin claimed it, before Taco Bell put an egg in a tortilla, San Antonio's Mexican-American communities were eating breakfast wrapped in a fresh flour tortilla. Scrambled eggs, potato, bacon or chorizo, folded once, eaten before 6 in the morning standing at a counter. No plate, no fork, no sit down. The breakfast taco wasn't invented in a restaurant. It was invented in the homes of San Antonio's West Side, passed from grandmothers to mothers to daughters across decades before any taqueria put it on a sign. Austin will argue with this. San Antonio doesn't care. Food 5 Chili Gravy Enchiladas. Here is where San Antonio and Mexico have a disagreement that has been going on for over a century. In Mexico, enchiladas are made with a sauce built from fresh or rehydrated dried chills. Complex, sometimes bitter, always authentic. San Antonio created something completely different. Chili gravy, a sauce made from rendered beef fat, flour, broth, and ground dried chilies, is cooked on the stovetop in 20 minutes and poured over rolled corn tortillas, topped with yellow cheddar and diced white onion. Mexican food purists will tell you it has no right to be called an enchilada. San Antonio has been eating it every day since the early 1900s and has never lost a single night of sleep over that opinion. El Phoenix began institutionalizing this version in Dallas. But the recipe came from San Antonio's home kitchens first. That distinction matters, and San Antonio knows it. Food 6 Chile con queso. Every queso you have ever eaten at a Tex-Mex restaurant traces back to one decision made in San Antonio. The original chile con queso was not the Velveeta version. It was a simple combination: melted white cheese, roasted green chilies, and a small amount of cream, served as a side dish in San Antonio's early Tex-Mex restaurants in the early 1900s. The dish spread across Texas. Each city adapted it. Velveeta entered the picture later and changed it entirely. But the concept, melted cheese, chili, served warm as something you eat before the actual meal, that idea began here. San Antonio invented the ritual. Everyone else just modified the recipe. Food 7 San Antonio-style tamales. Tamales existed long before San Antonio. That is not the claim. The claim is what San Antonio did to them. In the old West Side neighborhoods, Laredo Street, Commerce Street, the streets running south from downtown, Mexican and Mexican-American families developed a specific tamale style. Masa made with lard beaten until it floats in water. Filling of slow-cooked pork in red chile. Wrapped in a dry corn husk, steamed overnight. Every December, San Antonio families still make them the same way. Not from a recipe written down, from memory, from the woman who taught them, from her mother before that. Some things were never meant to be written down. Food 8. The original Tex-Mex combination plate. Before Tex-Mex became a national cuisine, someone had to put it on a plate and hand it through a window. San Antonio did that first. In the early 1900s, San Antonio restaurants began offering combination plates, an enchilada, a tamale, rice, and beans, all on one plate, all for one price, to feed workers who didn't have time for a full sit-down meal. It was practical. It was cheap. It was fast. And it became the template that every Tex-Mex restaurant in America would eventually follow. When you order a combination plate anywhere in the country, at any Tex-Mex restaurant in any state, you are ordering something San Antonio invented out of pure efficiency. Food 9 Menudo. In San Antonio, there's a meal that exists only on Sunday mornings and only before noon. Menudo. Beef, tripe, slow-cooked overnight in a red chili broth with hominy, oregano, and lime, until the broth turns a deep rust color and the tripe becomes something unrecognizable from what it started as. San Antonio did not invent menudo. Northern Mexican border communities did, and San Antonio, sitting at that crossroads, absorbed it completely. It became the Sunday ritual of the West Side, the hangover cure, the family gathering. You show up at your grandmother's house and it's already on the stove. It always is. Food 10 Bean and Cheese Taco. The most underrated food on this entire list costs less than $2 and has been feeding San Antonio since before anyone was counting. The bean and cheese taco. Refried pinto beans, cooked with lard, mashed until smooth, spread across a fresh flour tortilla, topped with a stripe of shredded yellow cheese, folded once. No meat, no salsa, nothing extra. San Antonio's West Side taquerias have been serving this exact combination since the 1950s. It has never been trendy. It has never tried to be. It just feeds people. Every single morning, without asking for credit. That's the most San Antonio thing on this list. A man who borrowed $100 from his mother to buy a corn chip recipe at a gas station and built a $16 billion industry. Mexican women who cooked chili on sidewalks for 50 years and fed an entire city before anyone called it cuisine. A cook who left a tortilla in the fryer too long and accidentally invented an institution. This is San Antonio food. Not one restaurant, not one chef. Immigrants, grandmothers, sidewalk vendors, and one very lucky accident in a fryer on Southwest 24th Street. 10 foods. One city. None of it was an accident. Well, except the puppy taco. Stay curious.